Mrs. Rania Leila, our personal and career development expert. Thank you very much for being with us, Rania.
Thank you, Noreen.
A very good morning first, and let me know your definition of those three words, the art of persuasion.
Very good morning to you, Noreen. Persuasion. Yes, it's an art, as you just said, and it's a science as well. It refers to the ability to convince others and how to influence their thoughts and beliefs and behaviors through, of course, communication and various, techniques, psychological techniques.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about establishing credibility. It's more about credibility and authority. Persuading someone starts by establishing yourself as a credible and trustworthy source.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it's also how to use the pillars of persuasion, as Aristotle named them 2,300 years ago. In his book, The Art of Rhetoric, he just said that there are some pillars of persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
So it's from, long time ago. And it's also about how to frame messages, how to put it in the right context, in such a way, in a clear and concise way, And it's also about how to use social proof, urgency, and other techniques that can influence others and impact their lives.
So it depends about the person, about the situation, and about, I think, above all, logic. If it's logic, it's going to be an easy task, or no?
Okay, going back, as I just mentioned earlier, that Aristotle said that there are three pillars of persuasion. The three pillars are credibility, emotions, and logic. Ethos, pathos, and logos. So if we have any message we want to deliver, or if we want to have this influence above others, or if we want to just convince others with something, we need to address these three pillars. We want to, in our speech or presentations or our conversation, to put all these three things. First thing is to show my credibility, of my appearance, speaking skills, my knowledge about the topic, and then some little bit of emotions, like a story, emotional story. And then, of course, we have to state some statistics and facts when it comes to the logic. Because as we are all different, some people just concerned about the emotion. They are emotional. And some other people just care about the logic.
Yeah.
And, of course, some other just care about how credible source you are. Why just give me credible reason that to believe you or to be convinced with your words or your product or service.
Could we say that there are persuasion skills and there are people who are good at that and others no?
Yes, of course. Yes. After all, it's a learnable skill. Some people, of course, are born with this. It's like a talent, but some other people just learn to be persuaders.
This is my question. There are persuasion skills which I can learn, or there are people who are born with this ability?
Okay, the good news is it's a learnable skill, and some other people just born with it. The most important thing is that to learn the skills of persuasion when it comes to how to communicate your message effectively, how you just place yourself as a credible source to have the exact knowledge and the speaking skills and the charisma and, express yourself in a very logical, emotional, credible way. There are some skills, how to just use the social proof, how to also always address what's in it for them. Because in order to be a persuader, effective, powerful persuader, you have to address the people's needs and wants. It's not about me as a speaker, it's about the receiver. I have to connect my values to your values.
Meaning that I should be an expert in human nature to be a good persuader?
Not an expert, but have the innate, have the enough information, and knowledge about, yes, the persons in front of you. Mm-hmm. You have to at least know their needs and thoughts, know their values. And that's why, if you just notice that every persuader, at the first of his speech or presentation, he always asks some questions to figure out about the natures and about the characters and the personalities and values of his audience or her audience.
Or this can be included under the very general umbrella of social intelligence.
Yes, it's kind of social intelligence. In order to be persuader, you need to be emotional intelligence and social intelligence as well.
You know, Rania, when I know that you are, of course, I'm going to be honored to have you, and I know that this topic, which is the art of persuasion, which is, in my humble opinion, very important. The first question which came to my mind, there are people who are saying that a clever person who is the one, or a very smart person who is the one who can persuade you with something he or she himself or herself is not persuaded of. True? Or this is another personality which we should not deal with?
No, it's okay. A huge part of persuasion is just going against the maybe social norms. So the most important thing, how to connect, how to know your values and how to know your maybe the things you need or the things you like or your interests, and then connect this with you. And of course, the most important thing to handle objection. I have to, as a persuader, I have to do my homework first. I have to know more about your background and your needs and wants and all these things, and what kind of objection you may tell me about. And then I have to search for the answers of these objections, and then in the right time when you just tell me that maybe I'm not convinced with what you say, I have other arguments or whatever, this moment I will give you some reasonable, logical answers with emotions, with logic, with facts, with the statistics. In this crucial moment, you'll be convinced.
Can we do a small or a brief comparison between a good persuader and a good negotiator, or both are the same?
Maybe in a general perspective, they are the same, because in order to be a good negotiator, you have to be a good persuader. But you know, the most common thing here is win-win situation. That's what differentiates between good persuasion or persuasion and manipulation. Good persuasion, that now you and me want to just end up with win-win situation. I will win and you will win. But when it comes to manipulation or bad persuasion or these bad behaviors, you know, it runs on or based on win-lose. In order to win, you have to lose. You know, so yeah.
And regarding some jobs, I mean, which require the skills of communication, of dealing with people, of meeting with people. I mean, face to face daily, like us, like a teacher, for example, like someone in HR in any company, for example. Is this one of the very important or the first characteristics or criteria of their character? And if so, this is something which we should teach our children since their very early childhood?
Okay, first things first. Everyone if you just ask anyone about what's your dream, you know, what's your goal in this life, the first thing he will say that I want to influence others. I want to have this control you know, I have this power to control others and to convince them with anything.
Yeah.
But they just forget that in order to influence others, you have to influence over yourself first. So you need to raise your self-awareness and work on your emotions and work on these skills to have this, you know, like solid skills to influence or to be able to influence others as well.
Yeah.
So yes, we can teach our children to have this power, but first do it with ethics. And we can just chop it or divide it to smaller tasks or smaller skills. Like first of things is communication, how to communicate your messages more clearly, how to express yourself in a powerful way, and then how to use your body language, how to manage your emotions, how to just think or how to feel empathy about the others.
And how to accept objection or deal with criticism.
Yes, it's number one, because we all suffer from this criticism and this, have bad effects when it comes to constructive and destructive criticism as well.
We do always have interesting discussions there, so I'm going to leave you, but with a promise to see you here live in our studio to speak and in detail more about us, about our human nature, because this is very important, and I think also our viewers are going to enjoy it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.